So we're here on a beautiful day in Plymouth meeting before opening a 3-game series against UConn, and I know we've had some weather issues the last few weeks. There's a chance of that this weekend. So where do you think things stand going into UConn this weekend?
Yeah, you know, we had some weather at the beginning of the week, and here we are Thursday, and it's a beautiful Thursday. We've had quite a few nice Thursdays this year. For whatever reason, since we've gotten a Big East play, we've had 1 or 2 rough days of weather. It looks like that'll continue. You know, this weekend was Saturday, so it's kind of up in the league office right now what we're going to do, if we're going to try to play all 3 or double up on one of the 2 days, either Friday or Sunday. And, you know, we're just waiting word back. But we certainly haven't had any weather favors in league. I guess we got all our good weather down in Norfolk and North Carolina.
And to touch on the Liberty Bell Classic a little bit, we haven't had much luck with the Phillies. I think this is 4 or 5 times in a row there's been a rain out when we were supposed to play down there.
Yeah, you know, we were supposed to play at Citizens Bank, and you know, obviously there's a lot of excitement around that for the players and the program and the university. And you know, this was going to be our 4th trip to Citizens Bank, and I think we got rained out 3 times or 4 times already, maybe first Delaware over 2 years, and the 1 year we went and beat Lehigh, we got rained out the first time we were supposed to play them. So you know, we haven't had much luck getting the games on down at Citizens Bank when they were scheduled.
Now, going back to last week in the series at Pitt, I think one thing that came out of that series was we were really swinging the bats well all weekend, and not just 1 or 2 guys, but pretty much throughout the lineup, we looked pretty strong.
Yeah, I was real pleased. You know, you walked out of that week. It was a tough weekend. You know, Pitt was a better baseball team than us. But you know, the one thing that we took away from that weekend is we did do a really good job offensively, 1 through 9. That was something that we were struggling with most of the year. It was like, you know, we'd have a pocket of, you know, 2 or 3 guys that were getting it done and struggling in other areas. Versus Pittsburgh, it just seemed like the lineup was working, you know, top to bottom. We were able to put guys on base. We were able to put some runs on the board. We just weren't able to catch, you know, Pitt at the end of the day. We hit a couple tough double plays, and you know, Pitt played a weekend. They didn't make an error, and you know, that gave them a big advantage at the end of the day in all 3 games.
And then hitting-wise, Pitt just had a lineup that was so different from Seton Hall and USF. So what type of an adjustment was that to all of a sudden, after 2 teams that didn't hit a whole lot, go against a team like they had offensively?
It was tough. I mean, you know, Pitt was one of the top hitting teams in the country last year, and you know, shoot, I remember listening in the, you know, game 1, they had a bunch of ceremonies for opening their park, and you know, 1 through 7 in their lineup were all returners. They were all seniors, so you know, they were good players. They have some pro players in their lineup, and you know, we had a tough time getting out the bottom of the lineup, and it was just, you know, it seemed like we had them a little bit under control, their first or second ABs, but you know, they made the adjustments that they needed to do, and they have a really good ball club, and again, I don't know what the numbers play out this year, but I didn't see a better offensive club all year, maybe over the last 2 years in the university. Yeah, I mean, they're different lineups. You know, they have a couple guys, they have some pro guys in there. I mean, you know, Namath, their first baseman, was drafted. He's going to play professional baseball. George Springer, you know, he may have been the player of the year already once. I know he's been first team the 2 years he's in the league. He's on his way to being first team all Big East this year, and probably a guy that's going to, you know, probably threaten to be the Big East player of the year. He's going to play professional baseball. Ahmad, their shortstop's a pro guy. They're just the guys that I know off the top of my head. I know they're top of the lineup. They return a lot of guys that went to a regional, hosted a regional. They can put runs on the board if you give them, you know, free passes, or if you put guys on base. They're all good. They're all good speed guys. They can go, you know, first to third, first to home. They'll steal some bases. So they you know, similar to Pitt, you know, they offer a lot of challenges on the offensive end. I think, you know, the big difference is, you know, on the mound. I mean, they have 3 of the top pitchers in the league. Barnes is a guy that, you know, shoot, he may be the first pick of the whole draft. And, you know, he's going to run out there on Friday. They have an established closer in Vance, and they're a team that's playing very good right now. They're in first place in the Big East, and you know, they're hungry to win a title. You know, they have a lot of expectations on their plate this year, and it seems as of late they're living up to those expectations and beyond.
In terms of what we need to do against a team like that, does it feel pretty good to go in with the bats kind of swinging the way they are?
Yeah, we're going to have to score some runs off of those guys. I think that, when you look at the UConn series and you look at anybody that we play, we have to play the game clean. We have to play good defense. We have to throw the ball over the plate. We can't give teams like Connecticut and Pitt, especially, a bunch of free stuff. If we're not going to take care of the baseball and we're going to walk or hit people, we're going to put them up enough that, they're going to start hitting some balls in the gap and we'll wind up, in big trouble. I think that, the thing that we did in Game 2 for most of the game and the entire Game 3 versus Pitt is, we played good defense. And I think that, we're at home. We know how the park is. We'll be challenged with some weather. I just think if we can play the game clean defensively in the sense of just, make Connecticut earn what they get. And, I think maybe a little bit of a bump in our offense, maybe with some confidence, we can kind of get after them a little bit. And again, find our way to the back of a game in a close baseball game. And we've seemed to have some success in 1 or 2 run baseball games and get the ball to Mike Francisco at the end of the game. And usually things go our way.
All right, so Villanova and UConn coming up at the ballpark this weekend, Friday, hopefully Saturday and Sunday. And that'll wrap up this week's Coach's Corner.